Welcome to the Fermented Homestead. If you're new here, my name is Anna, and on this channel, I'm sharing our journey of learning how to turn our home into a homestead. Today, I'm going to show you how I like to make golden paste. This is something that I've made a few different times, and it's just time for me to make it again, so I thought I would share it with you guys. If you remember a few videos back, I was showing you the inflammation and just the kind of the pain that I've been going through with my hand, is with basically carpal tunnel for the most part, and it's just really inflamed, huge hand. I'll go ahead and insert a picture of it here, and it's just very painful. And so I told you in that video that I was going to go ahead and do a bit of a series on various different ways that I am experimenting with, things that I do and things that I'm going to try to help to reduce inflammation. I want to not experience that pain all the time because it's very much heightened when I'm working, when I'm doing very heavy activities, hammering, using my nail gun, screw gun, whatever you want to call it, just building things, just very active with lots of gripping with my hand. I can't stop doing that, and I don't want to stop doing that, certainly not for, something like carpal tunnel. So I'm just trying to figure out various ways that I can still maintain my level of physical activity but not experience the pain. And one way that I'm going to try that is with reducing inflammation. And the first thing I'm going to show you, like I mentioned, is going to be turmeric paste, golden paste. There's lots of various ways that you can make and prepare the golden paste. And kind of the overwhelming, I'd say the very majority of the recipes call for the base amount of turmeric and double the amount of water, but half of the amount of coconut oil, or whatever kind of oil. Coconut oil is very popular because it's also anti-inflammatory in itself, and it's very, it's antimicrobial. It'll solidify a little bit, so it won't be quite so liquidy, and it just holds up to the heat better, from my understanding of it. So you take, say, the recipe that I'm going to use today is going to be a half a cup of turmeric, and so we're going to add 1 cup of water to it and 1/4 cup of coconut oil to it. And then we're going to add various other ingredients to it, and I'm going to explain kind of why I like to use those ingredients. The turmeric itself is very, very highly anti-inflammatory. There's a component in it called curcumin, and curcumin is very highly tested. It's there's so many different scientific tests and studies and just all sorts of different things that come out and say that this is basically like, the best thing since sliced bread. And what it does is it's very anti-inflammatory. It reduces pain, similar to Tylenol and ibuprofen, and it acts like something called a COX-2 inhibitor, which I'm not entirely certain what that is, but it's something to do with it inhibits COX-2. I don't know, but I think from what I kind of gather is that it's an anti-inflammatory, anti-pain medicine, and this works as well as those. However, it doesn't have all the side effects that these, pharmaceutical medicines have. Turmeric also kills several different types of cancers, and that includes skin, breast, liver, stomach, duodenum, and colon cancers. And basically the way that it seems to me that it works is that it inhibits the growth of any kind of blood vessels or things like that. And it also causes asphyxiation. It can't get the oxygen to the actual cell, and so it causes cell death in the cancers. It's also that's what I was gonna say. Okay, so, turmeric, that's just the very, very extremely short list of the powerful benefits of turmeric and all the various different things that it is used for. It's used really heavily in Ayurvedic medicine, and just, it's so hard to even explain the benefits of turmeric. I'm sure you probably already know that, which might be why you're actually looking up this video, because you're curious about it. And then another thing that is really important to use with making any kind of golden paste or golden milk or anything like that is adding pepper. So when you add black pepper to the turmeric and you cook it, it enhances the benefits of the curcumin that's in here. The pepperine that is in the pepper, that's what gives it its heat. It acts with the curcumin and it makes it enhance. There was a study that was done, I can't remember exactly what it is, but I'll go ahead and link the article that I found it in below. And it increases basically, if you were to take, I think the study took 2 grams of the curcumin, which is a pretty hefty dose. And when they added in two milligrams, I think that's the term. I'm not into all of this, metric stuff, but I think it was 2 grams of the pepperine. It increased the benefits of the curcumin by 2,000%. So it really, they just work together. And I know that the pepperines in the pepper, it does that with a lot of different spices. And that's probably one of the main reasons that you find pepper in pretty much everything. And that's why you add it before, while you're cooking it, instead of at the end, like you would not a lot, but some of the other things. And that's because you have to cook it with whatever you're wanting to extract more benefits. It makes it more bioavailable, basically. And then also when you add in the coconut oil to it, it adds on another 7 to 8 times more bioavailability of the curcumin. So it's just adding layer upon layer of making it more bioavailable and just making it better for you, more anti-inflammatory, more whatever benefits you're wanting to extract from the curcumin. The reason that I chose these spices is, one, they just go together very well. They complement one another and they're just really good. But there's more reasons than that, and there's lots of health benefits that go along with why I choose these ingredients to add to it. And I'm gonna give you the long, boring list of things. It's actually not that long, but it's actually pretty interesting if you're interested in this sort of thing and why you use them. So the cinnamon is anti-inflammatory. It improves insulin sensitivity. So if you have any problem with insulin sensitivity, if you're diabetic, if you just have issues with blood sugar and balancing your blood sugar, if you're ups and downs with your moods, fluctuates your moods with your food that you consume, cinnamon can help with that. And then it's also loaded with lots of antioxidants. It lowers blood sugar levels, has beneficial effects on neurodegenerative diseases, and it's shown to, in animal testing, it's shown to inhibit the buildup of proteins in the brain called tau, and that is associated very closely with Alzheimer's. It also acts to reduce the growth of cancer cells, similar with the turmeric, and it limits the formation of blood cell vessels. It basically, the same pathway that the turmeric uses to fight off any kind of tumors or cancer cells, the cinnamon uses it the same way. So you're just adding, again, another layer of healing and protection and things like that for your body. It also is antibacterial, it's antifungal. On to the next spice, which is cardamom. And I don't know if you're very familiar with it, but it's really popular in Indian cuisines, and it's really popular just kind of in that sort of general geographical area. Cardamom is from what I've seen and experienced myself as well, it is the third most expensive spice around, and that is third only to vanilla and saffron, I think it was. I'm not even sure what saffron is, but I know I've heard of it and it's very desirable. I don't really know the benefits of it, but I also didn't know the benefits of the cardamom until recently. So basically, cardamom, and this is from a website called Organic Facts, and I really like this website. I've just come across it, and it has so many different things. It has like top lists of all the different beneficial things about whatever you might be looking for, and I'm sure there's lots of other stuff. I'm just starting to really explore this website, and it's really neat. I really like it. But anyways, cardamom, super expensive, but for a reason. It's really awesome spice. It's anti-cancer, and also combining cardamom with the cinnamon that we discussed earlier is helpful. There was a study that was done in it was published in the 2013 Journal of EXCLI, it's an abbreviation, journal, and it said that when you combine the two, the cardamom and the cinnamon, it enhances, where did it go? I have this stuff written down. I did some research ahead of time. It is helpful in reducing the risk of colorectal cancer by 48%, and that's just by combining these two spices. I mean, pretty cool, huh? And it basically does that by enhancing the antioxidant activity in your body. It also, again, balances your blood sugar. It also helps to ease stress, and it promotes relaxation. It also helps with gastrointestinal health, and I mean, I don't know if you're aware, but I can't remember exactly who said it, but it was a physician from a long time ago, and basically all disease begins in the gut. The cardamom has been shown to have potential benefits against Helicobacter pylori, which is the H. pylori, which is the bacteria that causes stomach ulcers. So it's helpful in helping to overcome stomach ulcers. And it's also antimicrobial, antispasmodic, anti-inflammatory. Especially from what I was reading, it's especially when those things, this antispasmodic and the anti-inflammatory, when those things are caused by like increase in weight, unhealthy weight and unhealthy diet, basically. And it also helps with respiratory health and circulation. And then I ran out of room and stopped writing because it's just that awesome of a spice. So totally look into it, totally think about adding it. You don't add it in really high amounts. One, I'm sure because it's really expensive. And two, it's very powerful smell and taste. It's not a bad one, but it can overpower a dish pretty quick. And then another thing that I'm adding is 2 teaspoons of ginger powder. And I recently did a video on that had a lot of the benefits of ginger in it. And I'm gonna go ahead and link that video so that you can check out those benefits, which are amazing. But I'm just kind of running down a short list. It relieves nausea, it treats cold and flu, aids in digestion, again, H. pylori, same as the cardamom. So you're just adding layer upon layer of different health benefits and things that help you to overcome your whatever health struggles you may be dealing with. For me, it's inflammation. And it also reduces arthritis pain. There's a chemical compound in it, like you got the pepperines and you got the cardamom, you have the curcumin in the turmeric. Ginger has something called gingerol, and that helps is very anti-inflammatory, and it just has just an incredible amount of health benefits. But specifically, it was referring in the article to the anti-inflammatory properties of ginger. And it suppresses inflammatory compounds like cytokines and chemokines, something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it. It also helps with asthma. I have asthma myself, and so I like to do lots of things when I'm doing well. I like to do lots of things that help me in my respiratory health. And I'm trying to get back on track and do things well, but just starting out on that one. And it improves cognition. It relieves muscle pain, which is caused by inflammation. And it helps with menstrual cramps, it controls diabetes, detoxifies the body, prevents infections. It's just kind of amazing stuff. And the last thing that I wanted to go ahead and address is nutmeg. This, unfortunately, is the nutmeg that is in here because that's all I have. So I'm just using what I got. I don't use nutmeg tremendously much. So we're just going to use what we have. And nutmeg is very powerful in relieving insomnia. It relieves pain. It aids in digestion, brain health. It's antibacterial. It's antidepressant. Regulates blood pressure. It has anti-cancer potential. Most of the things that I come across always say it has anti-cancer potential, and I think that's just kind of a way to protect themselves from any kind of like a legal issue. So I'll go ahead and say anti-cancer potential as well. And it's also an anticonvulsant. So if you have issues with seizures, you might have benefits taking some nutmeg in very small doses. One thing that I came across was that nutmeg is actually very, very powerful spice, and you can actually overdose on nutmeg. It is hallucinogenic. It can be used in various neurological enhancements that you might mirror things that are not necessarily legal, if you know, if that makes any sense. Basically, you just don't want to take too much of it. And that explains why in a lot of recipes that you always come across, the nutmeg is very, it's like the smallest dosage. And that's probably why, because you can overdose on it and it has some pretty bad benefits, bad side effects. Time to get down to business, and we are gonna go ahead and we are gonna make this turmeric paste real quick, okay? So the first thing that we're gonna add to this is 1 cup of water. And so we have this on a medium heat, and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna add in the turmeric powder to it and stir it up. And we have it on a medium heat, and we're just gonna go ahead and bring it up to kind of a simmer. So you can see it's starting to steam now. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the pepper, and we're adding in kind of a just a teaspoon of pepper. Let this kind of cook for another minute. There's no real rhyme or reason. It's just why I do it. Or how I do it, not why. You can kind of see it's starting to simmer and starting to bubble just a little bit. So now we're going to add the spices, and it's a tablespoon of cinnamon. It is I changed it, and it's one kind of heaping teaspoon of ginger, and it's a quarter of a teaspoon of nutmeg and a quarter of a teaspoon of cardamom. The cardamom is just slightly heaping, but not really. So now we're just going to let this simmer for about 7 or 8 minutes. Got my timer set, and we're just going to let this simmer, and I'm going to keep adding water to it so that it has the ability to cook without scorching. It's going to be kind of a medium paste, maybe a thin paste, until we're ready to actually finish it, and then we'll cook it down to a thick paste. And we're cooking it to help bring out the health benefits, and just all of the different chemical compounds that are in these spices will come out better when you cook it, from what I gather. Okay, so now that the cooking time is over, I'm just going to add in the coconut oil. Well, mostly over. I'm going to let it melt and kind of bring it together. So that's all there is to making turmeric paste. I just did all of that and forgot to hit record. So all I did was I poured it off into a mason jar, and I was just letting you know that it would not cook down, reduce down as much as I liked. I added in about an extra half a cup of water. I probably should have only done about a quarter of a water, and for whatever reason I just could not get it to reduce anymore. It should be a very, very thick paste, but this is just, it's a pretty thick paste, but it's not as thick and like lumpy as it should be. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to make golden milk, and you can use that with whatever milk you choose to fit into your dietary requirements. For me, it's going to be some organic coconut milk without the guar gum in it, and it's thin, and it is just, well, thinnish. It shook around, it seemed thin, but so just gonna add in the coconut milk. We're gonna let it warm up on like a low medium temperature. And while that's warming up, I'm gonna clean up the mess behind me, all these spices that we use, and I'll bring back when it's warm. Okay, so it's warmed up, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with about a teaspoon of the paste. See how it tastes and kind of go from there. So we're just letting it dissolve. I'm not gonna cook it any further, just letting it dissolve. And this one's gonna have a little bit more kind of chunkiness to it because it has all the bottom pan stuff that was left behind, because I'm using the same pan. So I'm just gonna give this one a try. Not strong enough. Good, but not strong enough. Add another teaspoon. That should be good. So you can see golden milk. It's delicious, it's anti-inflammatory, it is loaded with all kinds of amazing health benefits, and to boot, it is amazing tasting. So I hope that you guys go ahead and take this recipe and do with it whatever you wish, but I hope that you find the time to make some golden paste and some golden milk. The golden paste itself will last in the fridge for quite some time. Kind of just depends. I've never actually tasted it when it went bad, and I've left it in there for quite a while. But from what I hear, you're supposed to have it consumed within like 3 to 4 weeks, and you can start to tell that it's going bad. It's going to start to smell a little bit off and funky and metallic. So if it starts to smell like that, just toss it and make a new batch. But I've never actually experienced that. I've never let it go that long. So, you know, I hope that you guys enjoy this. I hope you try this, and I hope you make this a part of your health and just kind of a flavorful way to consume some awesome, amazing stuff. If that makes any sense whatsoever. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you learned anything, also go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already for lots of amazing content coming up in the future. Lots of gardening, lots of fermenting, and lots of anti-inflammatory recipes. So we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.